IDOs and IEOs. These are some of the best ways to get your hands on the next hidden crypto gems that could 10x, 20x, and possibly, no guarantees, but possibly even 100 times X. And you don't want to miss this video because we are sharing one of the most exciting IDOs that is happening this month. We're going to break down why we like the project personally, and then toward the end of the video, we'll share with you guys the information you need to know if you'd like to participate. As always, no guarantees in the crypto space, but this could very well be the project that turns $1 into 100. If you guys don't want to miss our recommendations for the latest and the hottest IDOs and IEOs, then be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to Altcoin Buzz, hit the bell as well to receive notifications. That way you're notified every time we put out a new video. But before we begin, quick disclaimer. This video is not financial advice. In fact, all we're doing is sharing information about projects that we ourselves are already excited about. Early investment in any project, whether we're talking about cryptocurrency or any other sector, has inherent risks associated with it. It's kind of what we like, right? It's a high risk, high reward situation. But again, this video is not financial advice. You should proceed at your own risk. With that out of the way, let's discuss a project that we're pretty excited about, Star Atlas. So we at Altcoin Buzz first heard about Star Atlas for the first time in May of this year, so May 2021. That's when we took a deep dive into the project, and ever since we've been eagerly awaiting its token generation event, which is coming up in just a few days. And just like Axie Infinity, Star Atlas has a two-token model. On the one hand, you have Atlas, and on the other hand, you have POLIS, both of which are going to fuel all activities and operations. So POLIS is the governance token, and Atlas is going to be used as the in-game currency. That's kind of the differentiation between the two. Both Atlas and POLIS are going to become available for public sale on 3 launchpad platforms. Those are FTX, Apollo X, and Raydium. More information on this in just a second, but first let's do a quick evaluation of this particular IDO. We have to consider the segment in which the project finds itself, and it's a pretty exciting one as far as we're concerned. We're on coinmarketcap.com here, looking at all kinds of Metaverse tokens. So these are Metaverse tokens currently grouped by market cap. You can see Axie Infinity is at the top, followed, actually there's a big gap between Axie Infinity and Engine, but Engine is the number 2. And then you have Decentraland and some other familiar names that you likely have seen before. This is an unbelievable segment in terms of potential. We at Altcoin Buzz believe that the Metaverse is really going to be the next big thing. And this is why this IDO is so important, at least to us, because it occupies this Metaverse segment. This is, again, I'll state it clearly, this is predicted to be the next big crypto trend. You heard it here first. We've looked at other crypto trends in the past, of course. We really feel that this is the next up and coming one. Don't take our word for it. Mark Zuckerberg is also looking into all kinds of applications and functionality. And this certainly extends well into blockchain gaming, which is a space that we're extremely excited about. To further evaluate the IDO, let's also consider the IDO's price. So right now you can buy Atlas at just $0.00138 per token, or 0.138 pennies per token. POLIS is sitting at 13.8 cents currently. So they're off one from the other by about 2 orders of magnitude. These are pretty cheap actually, considering the fact that Star Atlas is a play to earn game, similar to Axie Infinity that you see here. They're doing very well, even though they're slightly down right now over these last 24 hours. Axie sitting at $75.71. But ultimately, these two occupy the same category. And as you can see here, the market cap for Axie Infinity is just massive, $4.3 billion. Let's also take a look here at CryptoRank.io. This is not a site that we often use on the channel, but it's a handy tool. Again, the URL is CryptoRank.io. Here we're on the ICO page, and you could actually sort by all-time high using ROI in terms of USD, which is a great tool you can use. So you're going to want to click on this tool right here, ATH ROI USD. That is showing us the all-time high return on investment in US dollars. And you can see some incredible figures here. After Casper and Polygon, we have Axie Infinity, ticker AXS. So that is showing us an 833.63x return. meaning that if you crunch the numbers, given where it currently is, about $75.70 at the time of this recording, that's AXS. It once sat at sort of a price comparable to where Atlas and POLIS are today. AXS was once about $0.1 or 10 cents. Obviously, that project has exploded because people have gravitated towards it. An ecosystem has blossomed. And there's no guarantee that Atlas and POLIS are going to do something similar. There's no guarantee that you'll have any return on investment at all. However, given the price points that they find themselves right now, if this were to be a successful project, I'm talking about Star Atlas now, you can see that there's a lot of potential for these kinds of games, these kinds of ecosystems. Of course, guys, we're going to link to all of this information in the description below. You can check out this Medium article from just under a week ago, Star Atlas token sale details revealed. This is a pretty good read if you're interested. Again, more information on those platforms, FTX, Raydium, and Apollo X, that we're going to take a look at in just a second, but more information can be found here. Going back once again to coinmarketcap.com, you can see that there are some massive market caps here in terms of some of the leading projects. I mentioned Axie Infinity, $4.6 billion. And this, everything that you're looking at here, by the way, is in the Metaverse category. So Engine Coin, once again, Decentraland. Right now, the market caps of Atlas and POLIS, those two tokens, are both in the range of about $1 million. Now, again, there's no guarantee, but can you just imagine if it reached from $1 million, went to a quarter of the size, less than a quarter of the size, to Axie Infinity? That would be a growth of 1,000x. From 1 million to a billion is 1,000 times growth. Is it going to happen? Nothing can be guaranteed, right? But this is definitely going to be a great project in a great space that we're excited about. So it certainly has a chance. What we like about Star Atlas as well is that it has a pretty sizable Twitter community, at least for this stage in its development. Right now, 54.5 thousand followers, so about 55,000 followers. Now, there's always the concern that, when you're evaluating the online presence of some of these projects, there's a lot of scamming in terms of marketing, in terms of bot followers. That's not the case for Star Atlas, because just taking a look at some of their organic tweets, for example, you can really see that there's engagement here. So when they do put out a tweet, you tend to see quite a few likes, quite a few responses, quite a few retweets. This always shows sort of, an indication of more organic community involvement. And that's whether you're talking about this project or any other project, that's actually something that's really important to look out for. Twitter engagement is therefore pretty strong. You can also join the growing community on any one of these social platforms: Discord, Telegram, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And you can also follow them on the Medium blog, which we showcased a moment ago. Again, I'll link to all of this in the description below. All right, so at a micro level, we like all of these little details that the Star Atlas team is kind of putting together. That's impressive as per our checklist that we go through. But at a more macro level, what is it about this project that we're excited about? Why are we behind this idea? Well, for one thing, Star Atlas promises to provide a AAA blockchain gaming experience, arguably the first AAA gaming experience in blockchain. Because as far as I'm aware, and you guys can correct me, there are no AAA titles in blockchain gaming right now. That's always been the hope. In fact, it's kind of been the holy grail of this space. But to my knowledge, and speaking on behalf of the team, to our knowledge, there are no AAA titles in the blockchain gaming space right now. If you disagree, or if I need to be corrected, then do be sure to comment below, let me know just how wrong I am. But that's kind of our consensus right now. There are currently no AAA games in the blockchain gaming space. And what's cool about Star Atlas is that they're bringing the power of the Unreal 5 engine to create space exploration visuals that are basically going to be on par with photorealism. So this is like nothing we've ever seen. And we're told that the fully immersive 3D version of the game is going to be rolled out at the end of 2021. If they can pull it off, and it's a big if, but if they can pull it off, this is going to be massive. And in our opinion, Star Atlas offers NFT utility that's even bigger and better than Axie Infinity. Really, right from the IDO stage, NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, play an important role in Star Atlas. And that's because if you hold an NFT, you get bonus tickets in the IDO or IEO. These NFTs can be bought on third-party marketplaces like OpenSea, which you're seeing right here. And from what we're seeing in the white paper, it seems to indicate that NFT utility at every stage of the game is also heavily emphasized. And check this out right here. Star Atlas is starting to get a lot of attention from some very high profile creators. There's some cross promotion, some cross marketing happening here because Mr. Beast, probably the most popular creator on YouTube, recently purchased, this was in May of 2021, he purchased 500 NFT posters from Star Atlas. So a lot of positive attention as this project is now being kind of brought out into the spotlight. The performance of this blockchain is also a super critical variable because we've seen games that frankly we've kind of liked. CryptoKitties, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but we've seen games like these fail due to the lower quality of the blockchains on which they found themselves, at least the quality of their blockchains at the time. But this is not the case for Star Atlas because it is launching on Solana, which is basically one of the highest quality blockchains out there and is only getting better. So this really right out of the gate future-proofs the quality of Star Atlas going forward. By the way, guys, be sure to check out our gameplay overview of Star Atlas. This video was published back in April by Robert. We talked about the importance of the metaverse, this burgeoning space that's only getting more and more attention. He touched on where it's going, some of the dynamics as far as the gameplay is concerned of Star Atlas, also talking about the importance of Solana and the integrity of that blockchain network. Now, the token utility is also going to kick in immediately after the IDO. So right after the token generation event, the TGE, the team is going to release an in-browser minigame. We're here looking at the Star Atlas white paper. You can find that on staratlas.com. This is going to expose players to numerous gameplay loops like ship configuration, land development, and space station building, along with crafting and other mechanics. And the idea is that the gamer will be able to immediately deploy assets to generate revenue. They can participate in staking, mining, yield generation, all of this through DeFi protocols. Most importantly, it means that the token utility will kick in immediately after the IDO. Gamers, in other words, can start using their tokens for staking and other things as well. And it's going to be a really good thing for the upward price movement of the tokens. Another reason that has us pretty excited about Star Atlas is the fact that the in-game marketplace is already fully functional, and there's a lot here to explore. So Galactic Marketplace, the feature-rich decentralized exchange, is now fully integrated in Star Atlas, and owners of meta posters and other in-game assets can now buy and sell NFTs directly within Star Atlas. And this is good. We know this from Axie Infinity, where the in-game marketplace is known to be a major contributor to the success of the game. The transaction volume right now inside the in-game marketplace is very high and far exceeds the transaction volume of the leading marketplace today. We're also super excited that Star Atlas has been added to Yield Guild Games. That's YGG. Yield Guild Games is a decentralized autonomous organization, also known as a DAO, and they've played an important role in the adoption of Axie Infinity as a play-to-earn game in developing countries, where such games have become a real source of income for many. So recently, Yield Guild Games added Star Atlas to its guild, and basically what this means is that YGG will provide Star Atlas access to burgeoning gaming communities based in the Philippines and throughout Asia. This is happening prior to the token generation event, and that's interesting as a huge gaming community is already waiting to earn yield using Star Atlas. All right, what you're probably wondering by now is, how do I participate in the Star Atlas IDO? Well, you can participate via 3 launch pads: FTX, Apollo X, and Raydium. And a quick reminder that whitelisting is going to end on August 25th, so you don't have very much time left. Let's first have a look at FTX. The whitelisting is open, however, that must be completed by the 25th of August. So if you're watching this after the 25th of August, unfortunately, it's going to be too late, at least on FTX. Let's consider here Raydium. You have 7 days of staking, but the deadline is coming up just as quickly, August 25th at 1200 hours UTC. The final option here is Apollo X. The event is happening from the 20th of August to the 29th of August, so you have a little bit more time there. Information is available here, apollox.medium.com. Once again, guys, all of this is going to be linked to in the description below. And as long as you meet the deadline, the idea is that you should use whatever platform you're most familiar with and most comfortable with. Let's now do a further comparison breakdown. So let's compare and contrast some of the requirements here between FTX, Apollo X, and Raydium. We're then going to break all of this down in a very handy table that you guys can refer to at any point. This is kind of a cheat sheet, if you will. We're ultimately going to give you guys an example on how to move forward with this using Raydium. But let's, again, as I said, let's first compare and contrast. It's important to remember that you have to be whitelisted before participating in any IEO or IDO. And there are requirements that are associated and that correspond to that whitelisting. So looking first at FTX, as you can see here, you're going to have at least 150 FTT staked. Now, this is an additional requirement in addition to that deadline that I mentioned a moment ago. So that's the case for FTX. In the case of Raydium here, you're going to have 100 Ray staked. And then finally here, looking at Apollo X, you're going to have 750 paid tokens staked. Now, these various platforms are going to be able to offer different allocations. As you can see, FTX has 36 billion Atlas tokens and 360 million POLIS. By comparison, Ray and Apollo X both have exactly half that amount. So each have 18 billion Atlas and 180 million POLIS. As I mentioned, the minimum tokens that you need to stake on FTX in order to participate, in order to qualify for a winning lottery ticket, of which you can get 5, but the minimum in order to qualify for 1 in the case of FTX would be 150 FTT. Given that each FTT is valued at about $50 US right now, that means that you're spending an equivalent of $7,500 US right now for 1 lottery ticket. That's the expense that you would have to incur in order to stake the minimum amount. By comparison, 100 Ray is the requirement on Raydium. Each Ray token is at about $7.40 right now, bringing us to a staking cost or price, if you will, of $740 US. That's actually our cheapest option. So we're going to move forward with Raydium in just a second, but we'll also highlight here the fact that on Apollo X, the minimum staking requirement to be whitelisted is 750 paid. Paid right now, PAID, at about $1.04 US. So that would bring the cost of the minimum staking requirement to about $780. Now, Atlas and POLIS allocation per ticket. Let me get myself out of the way here so that you can see correctly. You can see that on FTX, for that entry cost of $7,500, if you are the holder, I should say, of the winning ticket, that would be equivalent to 180,000 Atlas or 1,800 POLIS. In the case of Raydium, a winning ticket would correspond to 50,000 Atlas and 500 POLIS, so a little bit less than FTX, but much cheaper at the same time. And then finally on Apollo X, also 50,000 Atlas and 500 POLIS. So I guess as you guys can see, for this reason, we're more inclined to use Ray because this is only the cost of 1 ticket. You can purchase as many as far, you can qualify, I guess, as far as your staking requirements for as many as 5 lottery tickets. So, I mean, if you want to have 5 of these, just think of how much that would cost. I think some quick math, 15,000, 30,000, $37,500 for a chance at 5 lottery tickets versus not even $5,000 for Raydium. So we'll take a look at that in just a moment, the breakdown of how Raydium itself would work. Also on Raydium, which is an additional feature we're excited about, if you are a fan of NFTs, and if you're a Star Atlas badge NFT holder, there are going to be some additional incentives here. So reading from medium.com, holders of a Star Atlas NFT badge will also be eligible for lottery tickets. Please check with Star Atlas for details or view their Medium post. And this is actually the article that we were featuring earlier. So if we scroll down to more information on Raydium, which is right about here, you can see that holders of a Star Atlas NFT badge will also be eligible for additional lottery tickets based on the number of tier badges and meta posters being held by the participating user. And wouldn't you know it, they even have a conversion chart here for the purposes of calculating your meta poster bonus. So you guys can check this out. We'll link to it in the description below. Now, going back to the 17th of August, here's a tweet that was released by Star Atlas in which they kind of detailed all the options that you have at your disposal if you want to participate in the whitelisting, and then afterwards, of course, the IDO and the IEO of POLIS and Atlas. Now, we're going to take the example of Raydium, but again, as a reminder, you can also use FTX. You can also use ApolloX if you're more familiar with those platforms. So let's go over here to Raydium.io. Now, this is a DEX, a decentralized exchange. So the first thing that we're going to do is launch the app here on the landing page. Depending on whether or not you're already a user of Raydium, you either will already have the required Ray tokens. Once again, 100 Ray tokens are that required staking threshold to acquire one lottery ticket. You can also connect a wallet. So if you have any one of these wallets, we don't necessarily have a favorite among these, but if you're using one or the other, you can then connect your wallet to your Raydium account and then transfer your Ray tokens and then stake them. If you have none of the above, you have nothing on your account, you don't have a functional wallet, or you don't have one that you're able to connect, you can always use the Raydium exchange and just exchange USDT for Ray tokens, which at the time of this recording are at about $7.36. So that 100 Ray staking allocation would cost you even a little bit less than we described earlier, about $736. Either way, you have all these different options to avail yourself of those 100 Ray tokens. Once that is the case, you're going to have to go over to your staking here, and you're going to have to stake those 100 Ray tokens. Again, this part must be done before the 25th of August. So unfortunately, you don't have a lot of time. The final step is then to go over to the accelerator page on Raydium.io. This is, don't forget, where the actual IEO and the IDO will take place. There are some additional steps here that you're going to have to take in order to action your lottery ticket, but those more detailed instructions can be found in the description below. The important thing, or I should say the time-sensitive issue right now, is to make sure you have your Ray tokens if you choose to use Raydium, although you can also use FTX. It's more expensive, but you can use FTX for as many as 5 lottery tickets. You can also use ApolloX. If you're on Raydium, once again, go over to either the trading page where you can buy Raydium, USDT, Ray is the pair. If you don't want to do that, you can also just simply connect a wallet, any one of these right here. If you're a user of the swap function already on Raydium.io, then you can simply swap all kinds of different tokens for Ray. 100 Ray tokens, $736 at the time of this recording. All right, members of the Altcoin Buzz Army, that is it for this video. Just our personal opinion, never financial advice, but hey, you know what? Honestly, we think this is a great opportunity. If you're lucky enough to win one of these lotteries, then you really do have a chance to multiply your investment here. Guys, be sure to like this video, subscribe to Altcoin Buzz, and hit the bell to receive notifications. That way you are alerted to future videos. As you can see, this is a fairly time-sensitive video. This one is going to be coming out on the 24th of August. And you have about 24 hours or so from the publication of this video to actually action the advice that we're suggesting. So it does pay to be not only subscribed to Altcoin Buzz, but to be notified, because this is cryptocurrency. A lot of things happen very quickly in this space. You're also going to want to check out the related videos that we've already published on Star Atlas. Those should be popping up right about now. I'll say it one more time, guys, never financial advice. However, if you do invest, we wish you all the very best of luck. Stay safe, members of the Altcoin Buzz Army. As always, we hope to see you again soon in our next video. Take care.